Hi guys, Mark here from Digital Groove. Today we're going to make our first beat in Ableton Live using a mixture of a MIDI and audio. Now, I don't want to get a copyright strike and take audio from another track to give you an example of the type of drum beat that we're going to make. So I went into Splice just before this and I pulled out a beat like this, and this is what we're going to make today. Okay, so there's a few elements in there. The first thing I'm going to create here is the kick drum. So I'm going to rename this MIDI track kick drum. And we are going to, it's a house style beat. We're going to go into Splice and we're going to clear all the filters. And we're going to type in kick. And from there, I'm going to select the house genre. And I'm going to just make it one shot so we can flick through the kick, just single kicks. Quite like that one, it's quite classic sounding. So I'm going to purchase that. I'm going to go back to Ableton Live, just make sure the kick drum channel is selected and that we have this option at the bottom clicked so that we can drop an instrument or sample here. I'm going to drag that in and drop it in there. Next thing I'm going to do is highlight a section and insert a MIDI clip. And if I just turn on this headphone here and click C3, we should hear the kick drum. Okay. I'm making that the whole length. So the number 1 here is where the kick drum starts. 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. So if I just duplicate that out by hitting Control D, and because the loop marker is turned on here at the side, I can drag this out. Now we should have this. Oh, need to turn off the original. Just going to pop a bit of volume in that. So back to the original one, let's see what we can hear. So I'm going to concentrate next on the clap. Nice and thin, it's not too long. So let's go back into Splice and see what we can find. I'm going to leave the settings as they are, apart from the kick here in the corner. We're going to change that to clap. So that just means it remembers we want one shots in the genre of house music. Well, that's a nice clap there, quite close to it. Both of those are quite nice, but I'm just going to select this first one. Now, go back to Ableton Live. I'm going to insert another MIDI track. I'm going to call this clap by hitting Control R. Hit enter. And again, we're just going to make sure we're in the right place to drop this sample in. I'm just going to zoom in here. This little magnifying glass comes up and I can zoom into where it starts and move this start marker up. And I'm going to make this the whole length because I think it's not a straightforward clap on every second beat. I think there's a little shuffle at the end. So let's right click there, insert the MIDI clip. C3 again is where that clap is triggered from. Okay. Now, this is a little tip, not a trick, but a tip. What we can do is we can drop clap in anywhere. Let's just say this length here. And if we listen to the top, just going to solo it, you can see where the claps hit, which is here. Next one should be around here. So when we go back into this MIDI clip and start to shift this around, we can use our arrow keys, by the way. Once we shift this around, actually I'm going to move this up a channel so we can see the audio above it. Just drag that up. And now when you see when I move this around, you can sort of follow the audio at the top. I'm just going to click on this and duplicate it again. Move it over. So you can sort of see what I'm trying to achieve there. Okay. I think it's slightly different at the end here, so let's have a listen to that again. Yeah, so let's zoom in on that so we can see where these little hits are. I think it's here. So there's almost a quieter hit here before this happens again. So let's go back into the MIDI track. We know that we can duplicate that and bring it right over to where the other one is, but there is a little hit inside here that's half as long. So I'm going to drop one here and just bring that down a little. This is your velocity, and that is how hard the note is hit. So that is, you know, the higher the velocity, the harder the strike. The lower the velocity, the softer the sound is, and the quieter it is. So I'm going to take off the solo again. I'm just going to play ours again. So let's have a listen. So we should have something similar. Okay, let's have a listen again to the original, see what other sounds we can hear. So there is an open hi-hat there, sort of a classic 909 style hat. I'm going to insert another MIDI track. Just keep it up near the audio. I'm going to call this a hat. Well, open, I suppose. Okay. It isn't fully open, but it is an open hat. So I quite like that one. I've already downloaded that before. So let's set up our MIDI track here to be able to drag that sample in. I'm going to right click, insert MIDI clip, and again it's playing from C3. Duplicate that across and then drag this out excuse me, drag this out to the end. Let's have a listen. Something interesting we can do is when we go back to the actual sample itself, start pulling the sustain back. Doesn't have to be as splashy and as open, but I do quite like it like that, so I'm going to leave it as it is. Let's have another listen, see what we can hear. I think there's bongos in there or some sort of percussion hit. Yeah, there's definitely that bongo there. So let's have a listen to a bongo sound within. Doesn't have to be in the same key, but you can just sort of program it in. Yeah, I like that one. Keep that down here. Let's insert another MIDI track. We'll call this bongo. And then we'll drag that in to the sample section, sorry. Okay. This one's a little bit more, it is repetitive, but it doesn't happen as often, so we have to sort of look at where these hits lie across the line. So let's draw in this full MIDI clip. Insert an empty MIDI clip and just make sure, yeah, we have that sound there. Okay. So I'm going to have a look across this timeline here and see where that bongo hits. You can sort of see extra hits here. They're probably in the round there. So let's have a look. I'm going to draw a hit in first of all. Okay. There's a double hit sort of here. So let's bring this over. One is here, just before it. You can sort of see it there, and I think that just sort of repeats the whole way across now. Oh, there's a little bit of a different one at the end there. Okay, so let's see. And they're sort of shorter as well. Okay. So I'm going to play the bongo on its own to see if we can get a little bit of rhythm. Some hits are a little bit softer, some hits are a little bit louder, some hits are a little bit longer and a little bit shorter. So let's play through this and have a look. Okay, I like the way those ones are a little softer at the start and that is longer. So I'm going to copy this. And if I hold down Control and drag that and drop it over the other two, that sort of keeps the pattern. Let's do it again over here. I'm going to make those a little bit longer. And highlight those and bring them both down. So now if I listen to it again, okay, let's listen to it in context with everything else just to see if the rhythm sounds okay or if anything needs to be moved or if I've got something a little bit wrong. Yeah, so this one needs moved over to the left. Yeah, okay. Got that slightly wrong. Move these two over one. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, that's not too bad. So let's have a listen to the track again And this is what I like to call a little bit of a filler. It's some sort of hi-hat rhythm in the background. We can draw it in with MIDI, but we did say we would work with MIDI and audio today. So I'm going to look for a audio sample that will just fill this out in the background a little bit and just sort of finish this off. Okay, something quite minimal like that. I would also say we could bring these down in pitch. So I'm going to highlight everything. Control A and just move this down. Keep it like that maybe, and just bring the filter down a bit. Maybe a bit of resonance. Okay. I'm gonna have a listen to some loops now. And we can type in hats maybe. And you'll get all different types of hats and grooves. I like that one. So let's bring that in as just an audio file and drop it below and listen to that all together now. Okay, so there you have it. Let's have an A and B just between what we sort of referenced and did we get close to it? Have we created a little loop of our own that can be a starter of our next track? So let's see. Okay, so there you have it, creating a simple beat in Ableton Live using MIDI and audio whilst referencing another loop or another sample that you quite like and sort of making it your own. It's your own sound, your own samples. We've sort of looked at the groove, learned how to mimic it, and it's a great track starter for the next track that you do. So see you in the next video.